being stuck in this little world, and you want to like expand that by being able to walk on walls, on ceilings, on basically anything, and defy logic, then okay, I was interrupted. So what I was going to say is that you could change the mechanic of gravity based on the setting. So yeah, you might say that we already have clones just because we have body decoys and voice decoys that kind of clone your voice. But what if you could actually like have a clone, like an exact replica of you? You can probably speak through it, but it's not where your actual body is, in a way. So if you summon it or create it or just make it, it'll do the exact same movements as you, but you can switch between those two things. And if you die as the clone, you go back to your original vessel, like your regular body, kind of like possessing it. And bonus, you can possess other people's clones and do what they do. Basically, the prop scanner on steroids. This is gonna get out of hand. Effect, like a potion effect or like a block rule that changes to how much damage you can take. So there would be like 10%, 25%, 50%, 90%, 100%. Like, you are immune to a certain portion of damage. So if you had like a 50% damage reduction, like basically you're somewhat a tank, and if someone hits you with an explosive, it'll only do 500 damage, and it scales up with that the attacker's damage as well. So if you have 50% damage reduction, like to yourself, and someone has double damage, so it does 2,000, and 2,000 divided by 2 is 1,000, so it's a normal explosive attack. But yeah, just an expansion to tankiness. If you want to be really durable, have a bunch of damage reduction. And if you want to be really weak for some reason, you can turn it into a negative number and take more damage. It's kind of chaotic. App stuff. Like, I know we already have wiring, and that's technically electricity, but what if we had an ability or a new type of status effect? Like, there's fire, there's slowness by like coal and like a few other items, and radiation, but now we need electricity. Yeah, it's similar to fire, but it can power things. Like if you, it's kind of like an explosive fire mix between them, but it's also like you can zap things, like you can neutralize stuff. It, like if you poked like at like a car or something, it would stop moving. But the giant twist about it is that it can completely neutralize the car. Like you need to absorb the car and get a new one. It neutralizes stuff with over electrical input, and or if you use it correctly, you can power charge a vehicle, kind of like how the train works, like with coal, and boom, power electricity for probably longer or just better. So yeah. I don't know why that would make sense, but okay. So, you know how Puff Bros made an YEEPS Anatomy video like a while back? So, what if we expand on that? Basically, you can now buy a scalpel and cut open a YEEP, and yeah, they'll die in the process, they'll probably respawn. But, what if they were just like, yeah, you might trap them, but like, what if they were to stay like unconsciousness where they can't do anything, just watch as they're having surgery?
This is probably the worst idea I've ever.
This is definitely not gonna make it, but it's just funny. Like imagine like cutting someone open and then doing some questionable stuff. I don't know any bird besides the chicken, because yeah, the dragon's really OP. But you need to pay $30 for the Yeeps plush, the pet plush, to get that with your newfound friend. But if you are free to play and you don't like spending your mom's credit card, you can buy the bird for about a bit more than the average pet, with like maybe around like 1,200 buck coins, and you can fly around with it. It works just like a dragon, but it can't breathe fire, and when you try to ride it, it goes a bit slower, just so it can balance out that pay to win, free to play gap. So yeah, the bird. Concept, the car. I know we already have cars in the game, but what if we could have drivable ones? Like, instead of just having to control it with controllers, what if you could actually have a big, realistic kind of car, and then be able to, you would be able to drive it yourself without the need of controllers. Yes, it would be pretty expensive, but come on. Driving in your car. Wait. Except we have one type of thing that can block knockback other than like gloves. So what if we made something more of that? What if we made the force field? It goes all around you, so you physically cannot break it unless if you use like a shotgun or like heavy firepower, and it would create a bunch of protection. So if you're like one of those guys that doesn't like fighting in PvP but wants to be in it, now's your chance. And we all know that those shotgun users don't really think that they can be stopped with their potential in breaking stuff like shields. We're going to screw them over and add that force field because we know that we all hate shotgun. Volleyball item concept, minigun. Self-explanatory. If you know what a minigun is, then good for you. Because if you want a minigun in Yeeps, you're not wrong. Because everybody wants a minigun, right? Like, yeah, it would be really expensive, but come on. Would you not want something that shoots like 10 bullets a second and works like the damage works like a normal pellet gun, but about 10 times faster? Because if you don't want that, I might personally bring it to you, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I want a minigun now. Idea! Merging. Basically, if you don't like how your item is so basic and simple, and you just wish it had a bit more functions, well, merging's the plan. So, if I want to have something that can make me fly, but I also want to like swing around like Spider-Man, you can combine the two, and every time you swing, you gain a little bit of like a flight time. So it's easier for you to fly around. But if I also want to set fire to someone without having to use like a flamethrower or anything else, just combine the two, and every time you hit something, it makes them go on fire. Kind of like the fire glove item concept I did earlier in a previous video. And heck, if you want something to return to you like a boomerang, combine it with a boomerang, and boom, you know, like kind of like a mech rocket fist. Honestly, item merging would create so much creativity on top of that's already in Yeeps. So if they added it, I would explode. potion. Basically, if you drink it, you become really, really small, like smaller than the regular small potion. But some upsides is that no one can really hit you because you can't be seen. But the downside is you very much lack mobility. But something better about it is that you can see a world that the bigger Yeeps can't. So maybe like there can be like tiny little blocks that are about half as big or about like a quarter as big as like a regular block, and they are only visible to the micro Yeeps that drink the potion. So it's like a tiny mini micro world. Who wouldn't want to just see a tiny little Yeep walking around in his territory and then just seeing this? Item concept, the necromancer spear or staff. Basically what it's gonna do is that when you stab it against the ground, you can spawn little minions that attack on your side, and it'll have like the spear will have a little indicator to like point at something, and whatever you point at, the minions will attack that. So if you want to just target someone, you can do that. I don't know, I just feel like having minions, like summoning stuff, is cool. Okay, bye.